So Devansh, I've been doing quite a few fireside chats, but then every time we meet, you would have done something different. You would have you have done a fundraise where you diluted 1% for 700 crores. I mean, so many things happening in your side. So tell us what's gone on in the last 6 months.
I think the last 6 months has been a hell of a ride. We've gone to build, I see you've written executive director, Inox, clean this time, not Inox, GFL or wind. But that's the newest baby on the block. It's, about 15 months old. We've gone to become probably the third largest energy transition platform in the country in 15 months. And it's spread across 3 continents. It's across India, Africa, and the US. I think I've been traveling literally 15 days a month the past 12 months. I think what's exciting and what's impressive possibly is the fact that we've gone and built something which possibly no one in India has done. We've done it at a pace which possibly would have taken 10 to 15 years. I mean, this is one company which is possibly now 4 times the profitability of our entire group put together. So I don't think there was a very, very clear plan to get there, but I think every opportunity that came along the way, I think we've been very tenacious, very disciplined, of course, very aggressive, and gone and picked up all these assets. So I think that's what's kept me busy the past 6 months.
Picking up asset is one thing. Every time I meet you, the one thing I found very interesting was you are very careful about who sits on your cap table. I mean, that's something which the people who sit in this room, right? How important is that?
Look, I think, and as you've seen that 3.5 years ago, the wind energy business had completely collapsed. And we've now built the entire renewable arm to be possibly north of 1.5 crore. I think what's very important is for long-term investors or investors to be aligned with the management. There are going to be ups and downs. There are challenges which come along the way. Sometimes thanks to the government, sometimes due to policy issues, sometimes due to your own mistakes. And it's important to have people who understand that you are giving it your best. We own 95% of Inox Clean, for example. Some acquisitions could go wrong as well. But if 9 out of 10 things are going right, we need to have people who back us, who understand the vision we have and how we're going and doing that. And I think what happens is having the right investors brings a lot of credibility. Money is, I would say, fairly easily available. But when you're building multi-billion-dollar businesses, when you're going to go in for much larger raises or larger acquisitions, that credibility is extremely important. And I'll give an example. When we bought we've bought about 10 companies in the past 10 months. One of the biggest ones we had bought was the Macquarie India energy platform. There was a 5,000 crore acquisition. The entire Macquarie team flew in from Australia, and they were like, you're a big group, blah, blah. What's the credibility ki aap karoge? Because 1 or 2 other groups had signed deals for their IPOs, and then they walked away. Put it in the IPO, helps you do an IPO, and then they kind of walked away. And we said, we're Inox, yeah. When we're committing to it, we are committing to it. So I think, it took some time to convince, but over those 2 days, it did go through and it happened. I think that brought in a lot of credibility. Because when we bought a Macquarie platform, the next time we went and bought BlackRock's India platform, that was a 6,000 crore acquisition. They said, this is very credible. So I think it's, and we bought a couple of other smaller platforms. They don't bring that credibility. I'm not saying a known name is only good. Money is money at the end of the day. But I think your cap table helps a lot in terms of attracting more and more bigger names and credible names and institutional money. I think that's important for us.
And you are working alongside your father, who's way more composed and grounded compared to you. And you come with a lot of energy. Sometimes it's scary to sit next to you because you have a conversation for 10, 20 minutes and you end up thinking, oh, what am I doing in my life? That sort of thought process creeps in. But how do you manage that thing at discussion? He's trying to manage that. Another bundle of energy is Pankaj, who's right here.
Last time Anas was with me was at about 1:30 in Delhi at home, and we were closing an acquisition. and the whole team was on call with me. So Anas was wondering what's happening at 1:30.
And he was talking about a 2 crore indemnity on call. Yeah.
Something like that. Anyways, it went through the next day. No, look, yeah, I think Anas, obviously my father, I've been very fortunate and privileged to work with him all these 20 years. And I think while I'm very aggressive and ambitious, I think Dad is aggressive, ambitious, but he's the epitome of tenacity and discipline and being at it. And I think it's a lethal combination of being very aggressive and this entire disciplined approach which Dad brings to execution. You know, our roles are very clearly defined, responsibilities, there's no overlapping. I look after the entire renewable arm. Dad oversees the chemical arm. Of course, he's the chairman. He gets updated fortnightly on the renewables business. But I just take decisions. So there is no, I mean, he's a sounding board, of course. If there are challenges or issues which I want to bounce off someone, Dad's the guy to go. But there is no interference. When we're buying companies, whether it's 5,000, whether it's 8,000, which we bought in the US, I don't think Dad really had much to say, except for the US. He was saying, it's an overseas acquisition. Just be very careful with respect to spreading. You know, obviously we went to Africa. We've now gone to the US. But once you understood the math and the price at which we were buying it and what value creation it was leading to, and our EBITDA numbers, it was a no-brainer. Of course, it took a lot of time. It probably took 4 trips to Hong Kong, 42 days of sleepless nights to get that deal done. But I think the value creation of that asset is possibly unparalleled. Also, I think what's important is gray hair always brings a lot more experience and insight. I mean, I'm 39. No matter,
you have gray hair? No.
Avarna's given me a few of them. But no matter how aggressive, how ambitious, whatever businesses you create, you can't buy experience and wisdom. And I think that brings a lot of that to the table. So I think it's very helpful. Sometimes he's ultra conservative, which irritates me. But I think it's a good balancing act between that and me.
Now, all of you guys, you, Abhyuday, people, Pankaj, Nishant, Madhav, everyone, right? You're all doing phenomenal stuff with what has been given to you and how you're taking it forward, leaps and bounds, growing it to where it is, right? To all the next generation here, right? 20 years from now, what do you want to be said about this generation in terms of what they've done for India?
Look, I think it's an unprecedented opportunity for our generation. I mean, it's a golden period. I think be it stainless steel, be it real estate, be it EV, be it renewables, I think it's up to us to build globally competitive businesses, not just inward-looking businesses for India, but I think built in India for the world, possibly even global operations. We're doing that at Clean, and I know a couple of these guys are doing it overseas as well. And I think we would be the top 3 nations industrially in the next 3 to 4 years, possibly 5 years. And I think 20 years down the line, it's going to be our generation which took it forward. I mean, as long as people are building, I think the only thing I'm a little worried about is not that I'm too petrified that it leads to lesser competition, but I think a lot of the next gen is too comfortable. It's this whole family office culture, which I think is spoiling a lot of people. And I think it's important people go out and build businesses, create value, not just इसमें invest करा, उसमें invest किया, मेरा double हो गया, मेरा triple हो गया. In Inox Clean, we just raised capital at 70K. This guy from Calcutta calls me, tells me, boss, मुझे क्यों नहीं दिया? मैंने कहा जब, and I said, the first round was at 3,000. It's now gone up 25, 23 times in 12 months. Said, you weren't willing to put it at that point in time. Said, boss, X, Y, Z. So the point is, why you should be proud of what we're building, what we're creating. Go and do something yourself. Don't just keep putting your father's earned money or your grandfather's earned money and keep trying to play this family office game. I think that's just a little sad. And I think opportunity for our generation is just so unprecedented that we need a lot more Abhyudays, Pankaj's, Nishant's to go out and build India.
Thank you very much. Can I have a big round of applause to Devansh, please? Thank you.